How's it going, YouTube? Welcome to Sketching Words. My name's Kevin. Almost forgot the name of my channel. Let's talk about my progress with the Wheel of Time. And as we can see, it's been pretty sad, pretty pathetic. So where did this all culminate and start from? Well, it originally started with this video. I finally finished The Wheel of Time. Here's the Truth 2025 review by Dynasty. I had even, I'm curious how long it would take me to read the whole series. And then I was like, I dropped $208. That was on eBay. And he was like, hey, let me know when you finish it. Well, I've been lazy, Dynasty. All right, that's pretty much it, okay? I don't know exactly what happened. Somewhere along the line, I fell off my habit of writing and reading. I was doing really good at the time. Like, I ended up writing 3 chapters in 2 different books, not one chapter in one book, 2 in the other. Okay, just so we're all on the same page. I would actually read, 15-minute break. I'd be reading at work. If I went to the restroom, I'd take my book instead of doom scrolling. When I decided to get in bed, I'd read a book. So I was doing really good at it. And then that progress stopped. I became lazy. And then even when I was like, I haven't been writing, I haven't been reading, it was kind of like, whatever kind of attitude. And then, lo and behold, as we saw before I transferred, P1 Scubs, how is the reading going? No updates on the Wheel of Time? Well, I have not progressed very far in this bad boy since 6 months ago. I basically originally, when I was on my reading streak, I stopped at 211 because of the comment by P1 Scubs yesterday. This actually made me grab this book because it wasn't even in my backpack that I take to work. It was actually sitting on my bookshelf over here somewhere. It was on a bookshelf, so I actually grabbed it, put it in my backpack, took it to work, and I did a little bit of drawing. And then during lunch, I made it to 218. Now, the irony of this is while I was reading it yesterday, I was like, man, this feels good. I like this, I don't even know why I stopped reading. Now, in all honesty, I did sit here and think about something. So, as I stated in my video, I basically talked about my goals. And one thing that I had mentioned is that it's not really about me reading or trying to read The Wheel of Time in a year. If it takes me a year, cool, fine. I doubt it. I'm not that fast of a reader. 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, that's cool too. The whole point of this is just to get me back into reading. In fact, one thing that I sat there and I thought of later after I created this video is, if we look at him, he more than likely reviews books. So he's probably also reading other books outside of The Wheel of Time. So we could logically say that's probably why it took him 5 years to read the book. Because to me, logic states, if you're reading the series, one book right after the other, I'm pretty confident most people, especially those that review books, could finish it well more than 5 years. Heck, maybe even a year, depending on how fast of a reader you are. I probably objectively could never do that because I'm not a fast reader. So that's also why I've stated that it's not really about me actually trying to read it in a year, just staying consistent and actually reading it in general. So I also decided that I was going to add in other books to this. And so the idea is that once I finished a Wheel of Time book, I would take a break and read a different book. Now, usually the idea that I come up with is no other series, try and do standalones. But then I thought, that's kind of a ridiculous perspective. Because, for example, I have Steve Erickson's, I don't remember the name, but the first book in the series is Garden of the Moon, whatever series that is, because I can't see it, because my eyesight sucks even with my glasses at this distance. I could start reading that. I could also start reading Dungeon Crawler Carl. So my plan now is I'm going to finish a Wheel of Time book and then switch to a different book. Whether that's a standalone or whether that's a series is the iteration here. Now, because I kind of got really relaxed and lazy on the Wheel of Time, I think I lost the video was like 6 months ago that I did. So probably at least 2, 3, maybe 3.5, 4 months lost of reading because I got lazy. That I'm immediately after finishing this book, I'm just going to immediately jump into The Great Hunt. And then when I finish The Great Hunt, I'll I'll either read the first book in Steven Erickson's series, or I'll jump into Dungeon Crawler Carl. Now, those aren't that one of those ain't going to be the only ones. Basically, I would then, after finishing whichever one I decide to start, I'm going to do the Dragon Reborn. After I finish the Dragon Reborn, I'll jump into maybe the opposite. So if I read Steven Erickson, I'll pick up a Dungeon Crawler book and do that kind of thing. I don't want to jump into too many series, so I think I'm just going to leave it to those two. I've heard a lot of good things about Steven Erickson's series. I've listened to the audiobooks for Dungeon Crawler Carl, so technically I could even technically skip that if I wanted to and read some other series. There's tons up here. Like I have a few Tad Williams books. I've listened to Shadow's March series on Audible, but I haven't really read it or read any of his other series that we have. So we got options. This is kind of the update, really, in relation to this. I have been, just unironically lazy. Updates on my writing, updates on whether or not I'm continuing to suck at drawing, and updates on reading in general, but also progression through the Wheel of Time. And if I start any other series, progressions through that. I don't think I'll really do reviews of individual books as I finish them. I may give you my thoughts, I guess, which could be interpreted as a review, but I wouldn't actually give it a number or a rating. I probably would just tell you what I liked and what I didn't like. Hope you enjoyed this video in some fashion or form. Hope to see you, metaphorically, on the next video in Sketching Words. I changed it to Sketching Words because I'm also want to learn how to draw. So I'm doing more than just forging words. So it's kind of a play on sketching and also, creating words. So writer, drawing, sketching, that kind of thing. Anyway, see you on the next one.